Hey, welcome to the closing beat, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you had a good weekend out there. Welcome to our show. We are financial advisors here at Jazz Wealth, and we're really just like the only advisor that our entire business model is set up to grow as you grow, right? And we can't benefit off of you unless you're benefiting as well, and by a lot more than we do. You can check out everything actually on our homepage, fully transparent. You can see everything you want to know about us. We actually don't have anything to hide. You can't really. Anyways, you could look up anything you want about any advisor. It all has to be public, especially if they're SEC registered, which we officially are. Hey, every day we also do free videos. So if you're like, I don't need an advisor, I don't know what you guys do. Well, we do these videos every day, 1 o'clock. We call them Fin Tips. They are on our YouTube channel. They are free and come out every day at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Today, Eric took the reins and is doing some money mistakes to make in your 30s. And honestly, that video, I think most of you know, we could do 100 of them. So there's a lot of little mistakes along the way. We're really going to put an emphasis now on the sort of personal finance side of things too, because, it tends to be quiet over the summers. I think somebody pointed out there, Docs noticed it was a bit of a snoozer today. And it's likely to be that way as we tend to have a slower summer season. And the fun times with money are over, man. The fun times of easy money, I hope you didn't get used to it because the world is changing into a different way there. And so we'll keep you on track with everything. 2 weeks ago, we did our Wine and Wealth class. That's a class we do for our clients. We just did it publicly so you could see how things go. And last week, we did a class. Our Wine and Wealth was based on how our funds work. When you log into your account, we don't have a portal that looks like anybody else's. So what are you looking at? And how do you go see the positions and understand the work that's being done here? Because we manage our own funds. We don't buy mutual funds and things like that. Anyways, off to the right-hand side of your page, you could see basically flat. I mean, you would say flat, but like normally that'd be a somewhat impressive down day. Like to lose 1/3% on the S&P and over 0.5% on NASDAQ, you'd be like, oh, that kind of sucked. But when we go look at the way the market's been lately, if you haven't paid attention, it's been wild, man. Most amount of 2% up days since about 2000, 2% up or down days, I should say. But I want to point out that we are now moving into a seasonal time period, right? When we say seasonal, we mean where there's an obvious change. What? Massive what? Echo? 50 echoes. Well, what do you do about that, huh? Any thoughts there? Let's try this guy. If I get rid of this and I get... Oh, we're good. Wait, I just clicked it. Well, let's keep going here and see. There should not be an echo. But if you guys are telling me there's an... No more echo? Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. I found it. Operator error, guys. I do, yeah. I totally see it. Let's go back over. I fixed it, so I won't do that next time I go to the charts. Appreciate that, man. You guys are helpful there. So I was saying like the seasonality, common word that we'll say. Instead of saying historically, we'll say seasonally, like you now know the summertime can tend to be kind of slow. So seasonally, the summertime is pretty quiet and boring, low volume, low participation, etc. Sell in May and go away, right? That's a phrase that's given to a seasonal time period. Santa Claus rally, seasonal time period, things like that. The first day of the year tends to be rather positive and wild. That's a small seasonal time in the market. And so we are reaching a period, it doesn't have a name that I know of, but the next 2 weeks in the stock market are seasonally strong. In fact, the month of July tends to be seasonally strong as well. So I'll go back over to the charts. All is going to be good this time. Take a look right here. Here's the average monthly change for the Dow over the last 20 years. And truthfully, it doesn't matter whether we show 50 years or 100 years. You're going to see about the same thing here in July. Tends to be one of the stronger months on average and by quite a bit. So it's not like, well, there's a 50% chance that you're going to make, 0.7%. And so, that's not really worth the risk. In fact, in July, 75% of Julys, that's 15 out of 20, have been positive over the last 20 years, and those returns have yielded an average of 1.45%. So it's a seasonal period in the market where for the next 2 weeks and, of course, through July, when I say it this way, July is strong because of the first 2 weeks. So can I just say it that way? So it doesn't mean, by the way, it's going to happen because the odds say they're going to happen. It's kind of like when we talk about these things, because somebody always says, like, the stats, it doesn't matter this time's different. It's not that we're saying the markets are going higher. It's kind of like you put your finger into the wind and you go, what's the market doing right now? Seasonally, it's slow and quiet. We're also seasonally going into a strong period. Florida, it's hurricane season. It doesn't mean there will be more hurricanes or an average amount of hurricanes this year. We just know it's the time of year where we need to look outside a little bit more, right? So statistically, there will be hurricanes, and on average, we may expect some of them or whatever, but it doesn't mean it has to happen. It's just the weather right now. So think of that for the stock market. It's kind of the weather of what's happening right now. Average return, 1.45% anyways, looking at the Dow there. And then if we go over to the S&P, it's also a seasonally strong period as well. The next 2 weeks tend to be the strongest, 2.15% median gains over all other periods. So take any other 2-week period you want, then match it up to this one. This is the best. So the next 2 weeks tend to be the best 2 weeks out of the stock market. It doesn't mean we're going up 2.15%. It means that the wind is behind us, right? And things may be a little bit better there. So anyways, I'll come back to that in a second. If I go over to the S&P today, little quiet bar. Right. So in our notes, in our Wine and Wealth classes, it's all archived. You can go take a look. We've done 3 classes on these little candlesticks here. See that little booger right there? It is a non-directional day. We need more information. It was a tug of war by both sides, and it was a minimal game. It wasn't like it was like, you had a couple teenagers on one side and a couple teenagers on the other, right? They're basically just the same strength. That's exactly the news we got from today. So if you were playing a tug of war game with someone who was as strong as you, right? How would you know what the next day is going to do? We'd need more information. We'd have to stick around and watch. That's exactly where the stock market's at. It's telling you, well, we need more. Give us more. We don't know what to do with this. Anyways, let's go on over here. And I want to point out Amazon, one of the bigger names today, down about 2.7%. So we got Prime Day coming up, July 12th and the 13th, if you plan on spending a lot of money. And Amazon says, you know what? Let's try it again later in the year. So they're going to have another Prime Day as we get into the fall. I don't know if the exact days have been released yet. I think it was maybe a rumor, so I would bet that turns out to be true. But hey, good luck. Looking around the markets there, Microsoft, also weaker. I always start with the bigger names so you can kind of see the weight or the support the market had on the day. Apple was basically flat. Exactly flat. There you go. That's kind of weird. Looking over in healthcare, they're continuing their rally from last week. So big rally in healthcare. Use the XLV if you want to see all of them under one roof there. If you want to look at some of the insurers, they're breaking out. You got Humana higher there. Anthem. No. ANTM. Should have came up. I don't know what I typed there. Up 2.71%. Let's go over to oil. You got energy. Maybe attempting a bit of a rally. It's not a buyable rally in this case. In my opinion, it may be a short-term buyable rally, but not much more than that. ExxonMobil higher as well. ConocoPhillips. It doesn't matter. We could go through all of them there, whether they're big, whether they're small. Some of the refiners, the explorers, all were just a little higher. Here's what you can use. You can use the XLE to track energy as a whole. This would be more than just oil. You can use XOP to track the explorers, and then you can use the OIH to track the oil service stocks, whether it's transportation, storage, things like that. So just a few ETFs that make it really quick for you to see what's going on there. So anyways, that's the S&P. Nonetheless, we got a small little day today. We're looking at the NASDAQ, a little bit worse for them, and that's because those big tech names, that's your Amazon, that's your Alphabet and Microsoft, that just dragged a little bit more, and they had a little bit more weight in that sector there. Anyways, we look at gold down just a little bit on the day. I don't have much to say there, so I'm not going to talk about that too much. Bond prices falling a little bit. They're dragging and supporting the market. So all eyes are on that bond market, where the 5 and the 5 and 30-year inverted or almost inverted there. So more recession talk coming up. I've done classes on the yield curves and everything. If you search that in the dojo, you can see exactly what that means. Crude oil up 2%. Again, I don't know if that's a viable pullback. I'm tempted to say it's a get in and get out kind of quick if you're one of those types of traders there, but I don't know. That one's got a weird feeling to it. Anyways, you got Bitcoin also lower, almost by about 2% on the day. Ethereum sold off as well. Ethereum is officially down 54 days in a row of being more than one standard deviation in terms of, if you want to say oversold, overbought. Let's just do it that way. 54 straight days of being oversold. And yeah, that's an all-time record, by the way, if you're looking at something like that. Hey, sector-wise is also a seasonally strong period over the next 2 weeks there. All 11 sectors have median positive returns over the next 2 weeks. That's looking back over 20 years. And just if you want to see, maybe it got a little bit of a head start. Check this out. This is just 5 days. Consumer discretionary up 8%. There's 2 sectors up over 8% in 5 days. Now, this would include Friday because Monday was a holiday. So you've got 8% in just in 5 days, 7 in real estate, 7 in tech, 7 in utilities, almost 7 in consumer staples, consumer communication service. We're not arguing with any of these gains in any of these sectors. So keep in mind, a lot of this happened on Friday, but that right there basically doesn't matter what sector you're in. You saw some kind of relief rally last week, unless you were in energy. But if you're in energy, you don't care anyways because you've had a great year so far. So you'll give back 1.5% over 5 days. Probably not a big deal. It was the other 8 days that were the problem there. Anyways, there we go. So moving on here, there's no need to do new highs and new lows today because there was only 3 new highs. They were all healthcare related. That was Bristol Myers. Nice little breakout there on Bristol Myers after last week's rally. Eli Lilly as well, and Merck. And there was really not a lot of news, to be honest. There were not this kind of news. So it's just kind of general day-to-day news. It means that people are moving money. Sector rotation. That's what people are interested in there. So really no need to talk about any other stocks there because there's nothing else going on there. All right, let's look at Boeing. Stocks in the news here. Boeing, first up. The Wall Street Journal says that those regulatory issues, darn it, by the FAA, going to be delaying the 737 Dreamliner just a little bit more. Keep in mind, a little history for you. This airplane, mostly carbon composite airplane, is also the first airplane that they said, let's just not make it here in Seattle or Washington. Let's just take all the parts and go find people all over the world that can make all these parts and just make the plane that way, right? So it was one of the first times that they've actually almost totally subbed out the whole airplane. Think of the logistical nightmare there. Think of the possible quality issues there. That's been part of the reason for the issues. The FAA says, we saw you get all these parts back, you put them back together. They're not as good as when you guys built the airplanes there. So they've been picking it apart left and right. They made Boeing actually put together a nose-to-tail investigation group or inspection group that will go through and inspect everything before they get it to the FAA. And yeah, basically since 2019, they've been picked on a lot because, it's couple crashes there. So anyways, that was in the news for that. Carvana, there's not much to say about Carvana. Barron's was pretty negative about them. Somebody made Barron's mad. They went pretty tough on them. They were talking about how they were selling cars before they actually even had title to the cars, which meant that some people weren't able to get permanent plates after their temporary tags expired. It was a pretty rough go with them. They said there's lawsuits pending, there's lawsuits coming, and Carvana did reply. They said it was just a small percentage that couldn't get permanent tags. We've addressed all of that. They really downplayed it there. So I don't know, but they were really rough on them if you happen to read the article. Altria, they've been in the news because this day right here actually was when FDA banned all Juul vaping, sucker things that you guys do. Well, anyways, the AP, one of them, reported that there's a federal judge that actually blocked that. Said, no, you can't do that for the moment. So a little bit of a battle going on. 3M is in the news there. The Wall Street Journal actually says, hey, you've been giving earplugs to the military, and the military's got hearing loss. Therefore, you're going to get sued, and that's a big problem there. They paid, just outside of the news kind of stuff here, They paid $7.63 for a pair of these just earplugs you put in your ear. I don't know if you think that's a lot or not, but that seems high to me because you've all bought 3M earplugs, right? Like your husband or wife snores and you put them in there. $7.63 seems like a lot. 3M says, you can't sue us. We are a government contractor, and you can't come after us for any issues for orders that the government purchased. So all the military members that are like, we have tinnitus in our ears and stuff, they're like, product's fine. You were using it wrong, in fact, is what they actually said. So that's in the news. Okay. And then we've got the Spirit and Frontier drama still going on. I'm confused here. So Spirit's down 8% on the day. They said we don't want JetBlue's offer there. We may want to go with Frontier. But what's funny about this is, just for fun, I was looking over the weekend, and on Frontier's website, they already are saying Spirit and Frontier to combine to give you even more lower prices. Here, click here, look at us. We're all merged together. Here's our routes, and here's all of our new uniforms and stuff. I didn't know that. It seems like I don't know how they're doing that, but they're doing that. So that's what's going on there. No real earnings tomorrow. You have some changes in the S&P 400, S&P 600, and you've got Fed members speaking as well. I'll take your questions now if I can answer. And we will go from there. There we go. Energy's got your bounce. There you go. Yeah, BMY pointed that out. It's one of the 3 S&P 500 new 52-week highs today. Not a vapor dock. So that's popular down here. There's a lot of people that do that. Lots and lots and lots. There's stores all over the place where you like that's just for that, which is impressive because like aren't they that big? So you have a whole store just set up for that. But it's what it is. Not my thing. What was a Daniel Tosh joke? Cody's gonna love this one. You're like, I don't know if he's vaping he was picking on, but he was like, oh, come on, just shut up about you people that vape. He's like, grow up and do cocaine like the rest of us. That was funny. Not that that's, if that were my thing, you'd probably see like 10 videos a day. Carvana's had 3 of their dealer licenses suspended in several states over title issues. I've bought, 2 or 3 cars through Carvana over the years. I'm not even going to say, I don't want to say what happened on the last one that I bought because it would cost me money. But the car may have made its way to me and I may have said, here's, go ahead, charge me for it. It wasn't a loan type thing. And they maybe never charged me. I don't know. But I'm just saying. I may have the title and it may have just been one that got lost off the books. Bank error in my favor. So I believe a lot of that. They were moving at a rapid pace. Any growth company is going to have those. Look at Robinhood. Speaking of Robinhood, somebody buying them? Is that what I saw? And Weber, by the way. Yeah, FTX is looking into ideas to buy them. FTX has been on a move. If you're familiar with the industry, they bought a clearing firm that I really liked and basically just took over. Lastly, Weber Grill. This is what happens when you play with fire, right? You're going to follow a post that you saw online. There you go. It's done. What are you going to do now? Hope that they come back and do it again? So just be careful with that stuff. It's just crazy. J-Dub's got the Tosh joke there. There it is. Hey, Ashish, any comments about the strength in Chinese stocks, biotech? Yeah, it's kind of continued, right? I don't follow their biotech sector as a whole. I do follow their A shares, mainland, and I do follow the FXI. And all of those, or both of those, out of the downtrend, moving higher. Now, they have the same sort of thing over there where their version of the S&P is weighted so that Alibaba, let me go find some of the names for you. Alibaba, JD.com, the popular names that we're used to looking at, they do have a larger weight. JD.com, Alibaba, Pinduoduo, of course, Lee is in there as well. So, yeah, I have nothing bad to say about that rally, break of the downtrend there. You like the stress test there. They did come out and say, yeah, pretty quick too. That's common. Pass the stress test, and then they're able to just post the dividend hike there, those that did. Yep. Mosby got it right. Yeah, that's what happened. Not taxable either, by the way. Yeah. Good summertime grill joke for you? Yeah. There it is. Snuck one in. Playing with fire. But now, if you're going to play with fire, a Weber's the one to play with, right? That's what my friend tells me. I like buy his whatever grill, and I'm like, I'm going to cook some steaks or whatever. He's like, is it a Weber? No, I don't think so. It's all mad at me for not buying a Weber. Any thoughts on GDP numbers and the impacts of the market? I would assume, now I'm biased because I'm already of the mindset that we're in a recession. I just believe it. It just makes sense. I'm not going to fight it. Do other people believe that too? Have we already kind of priced that in? Is that where we're at? I don't know. You bought Verb at 40 cents, looking to sell at 88 cents. Giovanni, what you doing there? So I don't mess with the penny stocks, to be honest. I have not for years. I did a video on my one and only foray into penny stocks, and as a kid, I learned a valuable lesson. Was up 6 digits and thought I was going to be up much more, and that ultimately did not play out. So I don't know. I don't follow these. I don't follow the news. Technical patterns are not relevant. It is just basically excitement here. I hope it goes there for you, but I don't know. Yep. That was a thing too, Richard. Yep. And that lady didn't want to give it back. She held on to that as hard as she could. Yeah. I've never used the vending machine. Every time they call and they'll ask you want to come down and use the vending machine? I'm like, now delivery's free, isn't it? Just send the car. I don't get the vending machine thing, to be honest. It's a nice gimmick, but I don't, I'm not sure I understand. I would rather just take the car, right? But I'll tell you what, now these days, don't forget CarMax. They just had their earnings come out. If you're looking to buy a car, you got to compare the cars on CarMax as well. They are being extremely competitive. So they're not just sitting there taking it. All right, I will wrap it up there for a Monday. Sleepy summertime action, right? That's why I try to share some new things with you. They're not all going to be big hits, but just trying to test the water, see what kind of things you like to learn about. I like to talk about anything and everything market related. I could talk shop all day long. And that's all I got for you. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back again. Adios.